All right, man. We are the Black Culture Podcast. I am the Willie Ashford. That is Alex Price. And we have a very special lady, very special guest, a woman that knows me a little bit better than I know myself. She is the Miss Janae Ashford. How you doing? So we thought it would be interesting to get a woman's perspective, opinion on this topic that we're gonna touch on. But before we get to it, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the share button, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Black Culture Podcast. And as always, thank you for our subscribers. Thank you for the people that's been commenting on our videos that we've been doing. Thank you to the ones that have been sharing our videos and just reacting with us, because we love to react with our fans and our guests and everything. So, Price, we're talking about dating in the year 2021. And at the end of that, I had gave a little teaser and I had brought up, should you have a right to know how many men that the woman has slept with? Just vice versa. Should the woman have a right to know how many women the man has slept with? So let's just paint the picture. We was talking about dating in 2021, and it just popped up in my head because I feel like that's a question that goes around. You see people make videos about it on TikTok and Instagram, and a lot of women, their perspective from it is it should matter. My angle on it, I'll give it to you, but first, do we want to let ladies go first? Or do we want to let you give yours first?
Absolutely. Ladies first.
So, talking to the mic, and please don't hold anything back.
Mike. I don't think that it matters. I don't think that it should matter if you are starting a fresh relationship with somebody, and this is if you're pursuing a relationship with this person. I don't think that their past, which is the people that they've slept with before you, it shouldn't matter, because bringing that into the relationship, why? What is the point of that? And then also, if we want to just be honest, she can tell you one number, right? And it really is not, it could be a lie. It still feel the same. You ain't gonna be able to tell. Like if she says, oh, I've been with 7 guys, but really she been with 50, how would you know? So it's like,
True.
What does it matter?
Yeah, and we all know women are always honest with us about everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, my thing is this, right? And this is my counterpart to that. You don't go to the car lot and not ask how many miles on the car before you drive off the lot, right?
Oh, but come on now.
You don't go purchase a house and not check how many previous owners it had. To me, and again, it can be different for anybody else, but I just feel like if it's important to that guy or that woman to know, then you should ask. Because what if that's a make or break between them? And like you said, they can make up a number. God forbid, I hope they don't make up a number. But what if that's
they making up a number? They're gonna make up a number, especially if they know off top that this is, if they really want to be with you, right? And some people care and some people don't. Like if they really want to be in a relationship with you and you are just so hell-bent on how many people that they've been with in their past, they're gonna make up a number.
What you think, Price?
All right. So first off, thank you, Janae, for your 2 cents. Willie, you got to move the mic a little closer because I think our audience needs to be able to hear her.
Okay.
I honestly think at some point, if y'all get serious, that's going to come up anyway, because it's almost impossible to not bring your past into your present, because every relationship that you've been in, some part of that is still in you, which is why a lot of couples, they get to this place of complacency, right? So, it might still be new and might still be fresh, but they're used to being around each other and whatnot. But at some point, things that have happened to your past, you might get triggered, right? You might bring up an ex, my ex used to do this to me, especially if it's something that you hated and this person reminded you of that, something in the past, or you might randomly run into an ex girlfriend, ex boyfriend. We all know women don't go through men's phones, so I'm not even going to talk about that. They don't want to see if you messing around and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, your past, whether it was a serious, whether you're divorced, I'm not really going to get into that. It's going to come up. So one thing that and I'm not married, but one thing that I saw, Steve Harvey, he had an episode on the show where he had 3 married couples. One couple that had been married for like 15 years. Another couple had been married for like 30 years. And another couple had been married for like 50 years. And the 50-year-old couple said this. They said, whatever happened in your past, y'all better talk about it and work it out. So you don't bring the bones from the closet up later on in a relationship and it destroys the relationship. I think if you really love that person, you'll accept whatever they did in their past and understand that they didn't do that to you. Right? So we all make, bad choices. I've made mine in the past. But look, regardless of what that number is, if you really like that person and you want to be with that person, you're gonna have to make a decision right then and there to accept that, because it would suck if you get later on in the relationship and you find out, especially if you know the people that they slept with. That would really suck, right? So it's like, and in all honesty, I agree with your wife. It should not matter, but I still think you do have a right to know. That's just my 2 cents.
You gotta get close.
I don't think that the other person has a right to know. Like, that's not your right to know, but is it, you can ask, absolutely. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with asking, but I also feel like you should respect the fact if I don't want to disclose that information with you, and it shouldn't be held against me even if I do. But like you said, I do definitely agree with, if you love a person,
not holding it against you. So that's the part that I'm saying it shouldn't matter. But so with that said, I'm glad you said that, because I think a lot of people get on the defensive as if somebody's going to hold it against you. And again, if you truly want to be with that person, that shouldn't matter. But I have a question for you. What things do you feel like I have a right to know about you? Because you're saying I don't have a right to know about how many.
That's a good question.
Have touched your body, but I do have a right to know about other things that happened in the past.
So I just feel like, it's about, and also too, it depends on what stages you are in this relationship, right? If this is the beginning and you're just getting to know each other, obviously you're going to want to know things from that person's past. And I feel like it's okay with sharing and information like that. It's okay with talking about the past and different things. But I just, when it comes to how many people I've slept with, I just don't feel like that's a thing. I feel like it's more like childish, like high schoolish, because just why? That's just me.
So let me jump in here, because I think saying that it's childish, I don't know. I think that's a little extreme, because I don't think that's childish. This just me, right? Do you feel like maybe if a woman don't want to tell her, she's more ashamed of the number?
It's very possible.
So maybe that's more childish, that you in this relationship, you care about this man, you want to get married, but his only thing is, I just want to know, before I make you my wife, how many people have you laid down with? And believe it or not, that's important to some guys. So I don't think saying it's childish, I just don't think we can say that's childish. That's my only thing on it.
So this is what I mean, right? When I think of a person saying, okay, before I make you my wife, I really need to know how many people you've been with. To me, at this point, if you want to date me or you want me to be your wife, is that going to be a deal breaker for you? Like, okay,
so maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. Maybe it's obviously, if you're about to get married, it don't matter at that point. But in the beginning, what if like y'all dating and it's just you out on a date? Let's say it's let's just say date number 3. Y'all getting real serious. He say, hey, I just want to know, we talking. I just want to know, how many people have you been with?
And then also, and here's the thing too, like, what is been with? Like,
You come on, see,
Have had intercourse with
okay, right. So
sexual experiences. Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that is something that is just like not
All right. Here's
dragging the
a
past into
serious question though. Not saying that wasn't. Do I have a right to know if you've had any sexual trauma in the past?
I feel like at some point that would come up if that was a thing, right, with a person and they had some sexual trauma in the past. I feel like that's something that would come up, because if they're not healed from that, those triggers could come up, right? And obviously you're going to want to know, like, well, what is going on? So I still don't feel like you have the right to know, but I feel like it's about if that person wants to share that information with you. But obviously, but the type of person that I am, I would share that information, but I'm just saying I don't feel like it's your right though.
So if I'm about to spend the rest of my life with this person, and I think we can all agree that when you sleep with somebody, there's a thing called soul ties, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, in the midst of a relationship, and I actually figured this out, why it's good to withhold having sex with all these different people, right? I think you said in the last talk we had, Willie, about PJ Washington and athletes just smashing random chicks, and then they end up with a baby that they didn't want in the first place, and the girl that they really didn't want to be with. It's like, dude, stop sleeping with all these different women, right? So you bring your past experiences into a relationship, and you're always comparing that last relationship to this current one, right? Same thing happens with sex. You're usually comparing whoever was the quote unquote best on your list, and I'm gonna just speak for the guys, to whoever is in the current relationship, right? So my question would be this: if I'm about to spend the rest of my life with you, knowing how many people you've opened yourself up to would tell me, one, a lot about the life that you've lived and the potential problems and issues that we could possibly have had in the future, especially when it comes to sexual trauma, which is why I asked you about that, because I dated a young lady who went through that, and she opened up to me about that, and she had never healed from it, right? So if I'm about to spend the rest of my life with this person, and this is just my opinion, I need to know as much as possible about you. It's the same thing if I'm about to start a business. I want to know this person, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what things they're willing to do, what they're not willing to do. The same thing, except this relationship isn't just business, it's also intimate, because I'm sharing my entire world with you. With a business partner, I don't have to come home to you, right? I could have did something that triggered you from a past relationship, and you never even told me about it. So that's all I'm asking, is like, what things do I have a right to know versus not?
So to me, right, when you are getting ready to be married, you can literally date somebody for 2 years and things come up, and also people change as well, right? So some people,
I mean, a little bit more.
some people, like the trauma that they've been through, it takes them longer to get past it and heal past it than some people just, like, you will never even know until you do something, and then they're tripping, and it triggers them in a certain type of way. So these conversations have to be had, and then it's like when you get married, right? So say for instance you're married, and then you guys are having this conversation about different things in the past, or you saying you want to have it, you want to know as much, how this person is with this and how this person is with that. People go through different stages in different times of their lives. I don't feel like people are consistently the same all the time, right? So you may meet me we can even use ourselves, for example, right? We are not the same people that we were 9 years ago. You know, we've grown, we've matured in certain areas, whereas, you know, you look back and you say, oh, 9 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that I would be this, you know, have the type of mindset that I have now about certain things. So it's like, the conversations can be had. You have a right, you know, you got a right to ask whatever you want to ask. But does that person have to share that information with you? I feel like, no, they don't. But if you love this person, then I don't feel like you shouldn't have to hide anything from them. If you care for them and you want to pursue this relationship with them, then you should be willing to share certain information.
So what else do you not have a right to know?
You don't got a right to know anything. It ain't your right to know nothing. Like, you have the right to ask these questions. Yes, you can ask anything you want to ask, but I don't feel like, to me, it's just like, when I think of, I got a right to know this, like, this is my right, I have to know this. Like, you don't have to know this.
Really? Okay. So I
don't.
All right. So okay. I'm gonna ask some questions and I want y'all both to answer.
And hold on, wait. Let me just say this, because I don't want people. Well, it really don't matter what people think, but I'm an open book, really. But I'm just saying, like, this is just my opinion about other things. I don't feel like.
It's just something about that sentence. You don't have a right to know. I don't. It's just something about that just makes me cringe every time I hear that word. Like, you don't have a right. Like.
All right. Okay. So look. And I'm not just gonna talk about sex. Do I have a right to know? Do I have a right to know your religious beliefs?
I can share my religious, but now let me tell you, wait, listen, I can share my religious beliefs with you, right? But what you have a right to know, like if I was coming into this relationship with a disease or something like that, you got a right to know that. In my opinion, that's something that off top, you can know that. And you should know that. That's information that should just be disclosed. That's your right to know, because this is putting you in danger. To me, if it's not putting you in danger, then what do you have the right to know?
You can be in danger emotionally too.
Well, look, bro. So she just said something, right? Because she said if it's not putting you in any danger. So you're talking about specifically in STD, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I had cancer? Do I have a right to know that? Do you have a right to know that?
No, you don't have a right to know, but
that one I don't think we do. I'm not gonna lie to that one. I don't think we have a right.
Are you okay? So you're about to marry someone.
So again,
you're technically responsible for. You're their next of kin, and you don't have a right to know their health conditions.
So and this again for the audience, we have to keep reminding them we're going based off of where you are at in the relationship. So obviously, if you're about to marry her, you should have knew months ago that she got cancer. But just talking, like if we just going out on a date or just dating,
okay. So yeah,
you don't got a right to know.
Let's break that down at what phase.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
All right. So if I'm about to marry you, do I have a right to know your health conditions?
Yeah, if we're about to get married, you the health conditions. Oh my God.
There you go. Thank you, baby.
So when you were saying you don't have a right to know, what stage were you talking about?
I mean, like
first date, second date, what
yeah, like about? In the beginning when it's still new. Like to me, when it gets to the point of we taking this is serious, we're about to get married, then obviously, you know, these conversations, they're gonna come up.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. When we talk about dating, especially in this modern era, people date without the specific intention to get married. You got people who can date for years and marriage doesn't come up. They're just dating. That's my girl, that's my guy, or whatever. They can be in a relationship for 3, 4, 5 years. So if I'm dating you, just say if it's a serious relationship, but we are not married, you're not legally my spouse. We're just each other's significant other. We could be living together, whatnot. What are the things that I have a right to know? And going back to the original question, how many bodies, if we're dating seriously, even living together, or at the very least spending a night over each other's homes 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, do I have a right to know how many people you've slept with?
No, I'm my answer on that one is just not gonna change. It's not gonna change. Like, obviously, if you years into the dating relationship, y'all been dating for, let's just say, 5 years, y'all live together, you still don't have the right to know certain things. Now, I still don't believe, I'm just never gonna believe that it matters how many people that a person has.
So, fellas, I want y'all to listen to it. She does not have a right to know.
You don't. It's none of your business.
It's none of your business, lady. You do not have a right to. I want y'all to use that. All right. So if we're dating, we're 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What else don't I have a right to know?
I don't know. I can't name them off the top of my head, but it's just like,
Do I have a right to know your health condition? If you have a disease, if it's not harming me.
I think it depends on what it is. Cause some people are very so there's people who have health conditions and they never tell anybody that they have these health conditions. What I tell my person that I'm dating, yes, but do you have the right to know? No.
Okay, I have one. We dating, we getting serious, right? And this goes back to what Chad said, right? If I want to know your family health history, and this is talking about like, because listen,
this is a good one.
Yeah, right. Believe it or not, you making that face. Believe it or not, some guys, there are really guys out there that if you don't have this gene or this, I don't want to have kids with you because I know what my genes are bringing. I at least want to make sure your genes meet. So if you dating a guy and he say, "Hey, does knee problems running your family?" or like some guys?
No, that's real because
yeah, like do we have a right to know that?
Yeah, if you have the sickle cell gene, then you have a right to know if that person has that gene because that goes into the health of the baby.
Right. So if you guys are talking about having kids and this could affect the child, then yes, you have the right to know. But if we ain't bringing no kids into this.
But you know what's crazy? It's a lot of people that don't have those conversations though.
You're right, they don't. And me, I'm the type of person, I'm just like love. Like if you love a person, right? If you love a person, the things that they did in their past, that stuff don't matter. And you are going to try to work through these, if they're triggers or if they're bad habits or whatever it is. That's just me, in my opinion. But like if you're talking about you bringing a kid into,
I got a couple too. I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, then.
Y'all attacking me.
No. We're not attacking.
A woman's perspective.
Right. Yeah, that's
all we're doing. Yeah. But these are real life conversations. So my first one, especially since we dropping this episode tomorrow, when it comes to finances, right? If we're not married but we're dating, do I have a right to know how much money you make?
I think that's just like a natural conversation that come up, right? I'm not gonna say you don't have a right to know that, right? I don't think you have a right to know if we're dating. You don't have a right to know how much money I make. But if what can I say? Like,
do we have any rights?
No.
All right, that's what I'm.
God damn.
You don't have a right to know where I work, where I live, what kind of car I drive.
So listen, if y'all are like 5 years into y'all relationship, right? 1 year, 2 year, and y'all living together, and y'all money is like, so I mean, y'all helping each other pay the bills, then these conversations are naturally going to come up. But when y'all are saying, do you have the right to know? You don't have the right to know. But now if this person is just crappy with money, I feel like then you have the right to know that. Like,
that's why we want to know. We need to know if you crappy with money beforehand. I don't want to find out.
I want to know your credit score.
Listen, I don't want to know
how much debt you have.
I don't want to find out you crappy with money in the midst of a crisis. Absolutely. I need to know that before then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These conversations are going to come up naturally anyway. But if you like, you can ask, and if the person
I got a right to know you, I got a right to know that because so much of the relationship, look, if you go get married, right, and then say you get divorced, I have never seen a judge award half of your love to the other individual. I want half of my love back. No, it's about money. It's about assets. It's the houses, it's the cars, it's the kids, it's the child support payments, alimony. Everything is money. So if you look at it in the sense, marriage is very much like a business. Before I marry you, I want to know these things, and knowing these things is going to help me make a decision to want to marry you while I am dating.
I got a question.
I don't know. And ours going off based off of our stuff. Ours is just not like that.
So I have a question. That's why we got here, right? Since we into what a man should know, what he should know, from a woman's perspective, what are some questions that if we're dating that a man should ask a woman that maybe that they don't? Like, what are some questions you feel like you have to ask a woman this question? Like, it's important to ask. Like, what's the question you would want to, like, when let's say we starting a date, right? What's the question you would want me to ask?
Like, what are your goals? Where do you see yourself in the next few years? You know, what are your life plans?
You don't have a right to know that.
Yeah, you do, because you want to know that this person is trying to go somewhere, or you know, this is a wide.
So we were spot on the last episode, because that's some of the stuff that we had named that we should ask. So I just wanted to hear it out of a woman's mouth.
Yeah, that's cool. I know that.
Okay. All right. Wow, man. I just feel like we have no rights. That's what I got out of this conversation.
Babe, you got rights.
I know I got rights. I'm talking about the guys that's about to date these women.
Sorry. And maybe this is not every woman's, you know, opinion. This is just my opinion. And
one quick thing.
I'm not out here to date, Jamie.
One quick thing before we wrap it up. I just want to ask you, what's your opinion on the dating, and I know we've been married for a while, so we're not like in that loop, but still, like, a lot of men don't approach women. And even in our comment section, if you guys go back and watch our last video, dating in 2021, some of the guys said the same thing. They don't approach women because not that they're scared of approaching, but they're scared of being embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Because certain women now is, hey, yo, you ugly, or it's just loud. So how do you think we got there?
I don't know. I've never, well, I'm not gonna say I've never been that type of person. I was about to lie. But I honestly, I don't know. From what I see on social media and the people that I know that are in this dating world, I mean, it's a little rough for y'all out here.
Because y'all ain't got no rights.
That's gonna put that in the caption.
Yes, that is gonna be the title. You ain't got no rights.
No, don't do that. But I don't know. I mean, the ladies could be a little bit more sweeter. And I mean, I guess I don't know. I feel like if a guy comes to you in a correct manner, you know, then you can. If you're not interested, just say you're not interested. It's not all about being loud and obnoxious, you know, things like that. But I don't know what you guys do to approach these women. And actually, I've been married for a minute, and a couple dudes still had to say something. And they just be like all in your face, so I could kind of see a little bit why. Yeah, I mean, but every guy is not the same. So
here, so I have this question for you. Then, do you feel like women have ridiculous standards and expectations of men?
Sometimes, yeah, that's me being married for the amount of time that I've been married for. I don't necessarily know that they're ridiculous. I feel like we have this thing in our mind, or people in general have expectations in their mind of how they want people to be, but people oftentimes fail those expectations, and they don't live up to what it is that you want them to be, or think that they're going to be. So I think that being a little bit more patient and allowing that person grace and time to grow. I'm not saying like letting them screw you over and stuff like that, but giving a person grace and time to grow and mature helps.
So I think we can, I don't know how you feel about this, Willie, but I would love for Janae to give the final word on this.
Right? No, go ahead.
So the question would be, what would you say to single people dating in 2021 who find it difficult, find it you know, they might not have had good experiences with people that they're meeting, whether it's online or in person, what encouraging message would you give to them?
I am a lover, so I would first and foremost just say don't give up on love. And just again, patience, like date intentionally, first of all. And when you do, don't expect people to be perfect, or don't expect people to just live up to your expectations when y'all are first meeting. People, I think these days are so quick to cut people off because they done did something that they don't like, or it reminds them of this. And I understand everybody is not for everybody. I get that, but you know, a good person, a good person to me. And so it's like, if you feel like this is, you don't see all the red flags in the beginning. Obviously, if you see the red flags, then you just go on about your business. But if you in a relationship and you dating, it don't work out, it fails, try again whenever it is that you decide to try again. But when you do meet that person, just be patient with them. Allow them room to grow. Allow yourself room to grow. Because like I said in the beginning, we change. We don't, 1 year from now, we're not going to be the same people and in the same mindsets that we are right now. And that's it.
Well, there it is, dating in 2021. My man Willie, you got any final words, bro?
No, that was well said. That was let them grow. I like that.
Let them grow. Well, hey, y'all know what it is, Black Culture Podcast. Price, D. Willie Ashford. Make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on LinkedIn too. You can listen to the Black Culture Podcast on YouTube, Apple, Google, and Spotify. Another great one. If y'all got a topic that y'all want to discuss, because I know this is a huge topic right now, especially with a lot of people post-pandemic who weren't able to date. Now they getting back out there. It's not what they expected it to be. Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment box below, because we definitely want to hear from y'all. But until next time, it is the Black Culture Podcast. Peace.
Peace.